Welcome, college football fans around the world, especially all of the Miami Hurricanes fans. And man, does it feel good to be 5-0. This weekend, number 8 Miami is taking on Syracuse this Saturday, October 21st at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN at Hard Rock Stadium. Now, all of you Syracuse fans, if you have stumbled across this video, definitely stick around because we are going to be talking stats about both teams. Now, to get a little bit of history out of the way, Miami and Syracuse have played 22 times in the past, with Miami leading the series 15-7. Miami has won the last 5 of these matchups. However, the last time they actually played was back in 2003, and for Miami, that was under head coach Larry Coker, and Miami won that game 17-10. Now, let's talk a little bit about Syracuse, because a lot of the people watching this video are going to be Miami fans, because I do primarily cover Miami football on this channel. But Syracuse, their record is 4-3. However, they are coming off of a huge upset win against Clemson from this last weekend. Now, I have honestly a few questions about this win. Did Syracuse expose Clemson, or did they just get lucky? Because let's keep in mind that Clemson was without their starting quarterback for the entire second half of the game. So does Clemson rely that heavily on their starting quarterback, or did Syracuse expose Clemson and now that's a whole different argument. We're not going to get deeper into that, but basically what I'm getting at is definitely can't sleep on Syracuse, because whether Clemson was without their starting quarterback or not for the second half, Syracuse did beat them, and overall Clemson is a pretty well-rounded good team, so we definitely can't sleep on Syracuse. But however, no matter how you look at it, Clemson is Syracuse's only notable win so far this season. They have a loss to NC State, which potentially puts them in a pretty difficult spot in the Atlantic. So I'm not saying again that Syracuse is not good, but their wins against teams like Pitt and some of the other teams they have played are really teams that just aren't that great. Clemson is their only big win so far this season. Now, I will say their punter, if you have watched any tape from Syracuse's punter, he has really helped put their defense in a good position all season long by putting the opposing team in pretty bad field position. So we definitely have to watch out for their punter. He's really, really good. Now, on paper, Syracuse really does not look too bad. If you put them side by side in comparison with Miami, they actually have almost 1,000 more passing yards than Miami so far this season, with Syracuse coming in at 22-28 compared to Miami's 1387. And then when you get to the rushing yards, these teams are similar. Syracuse has 1,013 and Miami with 982. So they actually have more passing yards and more rushing yards this season than Miami. Now let's talk a little bit about Miami as well. Hopefully for Miami, Richards will be healed up and ready to play, because we really needed him in the Georgia Tech game, and we could really use him for the Syracuse game as well. And honestly, real talk for a second, let's hope that Mark Richt gets Langham more involved in the offense, because dude is a beast. I mean, he got us the game-winning touchdown for FSU and arguably had the biggest catch in the Georgia Tech game. So Langham, he's a big, tall, strong wide receiver with good hands. We have to get him more involved in the offense. Now let's go over some keys for Miami to win this game against Syracuse. Number one, the defensive backs and safeties will need to play very physical but disciplined defense in this game. Syracuse is known for throwing the ball a lot, so we cannot allow a 300+ yard passing game against Syracuse, or we might actually be in some trouble. We also actually have to keep an eye out on Dungy, their quarterback. I believe if I read it correctly, he might actually be their leading rusher as well. So we definitely have to keep an eye on him and stop him from running the ball. Point number 2, and I hate to always put more pressure on the guy, but Rozier has to have a big game against Syracuse. Several of his passes in the Georgia Tech game were a little high, so he needs to calm the jitters early in this game. I feel like early on in the first half of games specifically, that he puts a little bit too much on the ball, and a lot of times the passes are a little high. So Rozier keeping his cool, being calm, collected, and good composure early in the game is important. And last but not least, point number 3, no onside kicks. Okay, I'm just kidding. We don't want to talk about that, but that's a whole nother story from the Georgia Tech game. But really, point number 3 is we need a couple of big plays on special teams in this game. To be more specific, let's get a punt or a kickoff. Not just a good return, but return for a touchdown. We've not had any really big notable special teams plays so far this season, so I feel like that's going to be big and could make a huge impact in the Syracuse game. Again, Syracuse is definitely not a team to sleep on. However, I don't feel like this will be too difficult of a game for Miami, especially with the lights out defense we've been playing in the second half of our games this season. So I feel like we'll be able to shut down Syracuse for the majority of the game with our defense. Now again, I always like to mention the ESPN matchup predictor. It has Syracuse's win percentage coming into the game at 11.6% and Miami coming in at 88.4%. Now I don't know about you guys, but I actually prefer for them to put Miami as an underdog, because I feel like they kind of play with the chip on their shoulder because people still don't think Miami is where they need to be. And again, I think we've got a long way to go. However, we're heading in the right direction. I feel like that the Miami plays better maybe when they have them down and have them as an underdog. So I actually kind of like that. Now, everyone, of course, wants to know my prediction for the game. We have been very close week to week, probably within a touchdown or two in total with our prediction. So my prediction for the game, of course, Miami's coming out with the W. I mean, we're at Hard Rock Stadium. We're on a high from the Georgia Tech game. We're 5-0, 8th in the country. So Miami's coming out with the W in this game. My prediction for the final score is the Miami Hurricanes win 38-20. That is 5 touchdowns for Miami and 1 field goal, and 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals for Syracuse. Syracuse, a lot of times this season, has had to settle for a field goal, and I feel like they'll have a pair of field goals in this game as well, just due to Miami's defense. So what I'd like to know also is you guys, Syracuse fans and Miami fans alike, leave a comment below with your score prediction, and let's see how close you get at the end of the game. And I would actually like to mention I do have a P.O. box now, and real quick for a second before you think, well, Coop's just asking for, you know, stuff to be sent to him for free in his P.O. box. It's not about that. I actually, for some of the kids that watch, maybe if you want to make like a drawing or write a letter, or, you know, or just something to do with Miami, if you want to send something, I'll have it up beside me here on the screen, and I'll have it in the description. It's P.O. Box 6493, and that's Maryville, Tennessee 37802. And speaking of the P.O. box, real quick, I actually received a letter. I don't want to show the address on here of who it's from, but I did receive a letter in the P.O. box, so we're going to open that up and read it on the video real quick. Hopefully there's nothing bad in here, you know, or maybe it's hate mail, you know, we'll see. Okay, let's see. Dear College Football Vids, I'm Josh, aka Miami Dolphins Canes. I actually know exactly who this is. This guy has a YouTube channel, and I'm going to link it in the description, so you guys give him a sub, help him out. It's a younger kid who is talking about Miami football and Dolphins football, so definitely toss him a sub, because we've all been there, you know, we've been a kid, and that's awesome. He's on the right track, you know, following Miami football. His parents must be raising him right. Honestly, you're probably the best sports YouTuber I've watched. I definitely appreciate that, Josh. I make these videos for viewers like you and stuff, so I definitely appreciate that. I'm far from the best, but I appreciate the kind words. I always watch your hangout videos when the games are away since I go to the home games. I live in Broward County, Florida. I might be mispronouncing that. It's right above Miami-Dade County. I'm a huge Canes fan, football and basketball. I'm writing this letter the day after the FSU game. What a win. It's 10/8/17, my birthday actually. And what a birthday present that would have been to get the W against FSU. And happy late birthday, Josh, on October 8th. I'm 14 years old, just watched your Walton video, very sad. Yes, that was very sad. But I think Homer will do very well. I'm going to the North Carolina game with a group of Canes fans. I'll see you there. Just a couple of questions. Number 1, can you do a Canes recruiting video? And number 2, can you do a bowl projection video? I would actually like to eventually do some videos on recruiting, so let me know what you guys think, if that is something you would want to talk about. And I'll probably do a bowl prediction video in the coming weeks. So those are really good questions and good video ideas, Josh. And also, can you put this in your video, please? It's in the video, my man, so I appreciate the letter from Josh, man. It means a lot sending that to the P.O. Box. I will actually write you a letter after the video, and I'll send you a little late birthday present in there as well. So I appreciate the letter from you, Josh, one of the subscribers to the channel. And real quick as well, a lot of you guys have already purchased them. My wife actually sells Miami Hurricanes decals on an eBay shop, and I'll link it in the description below. This is the 2-inch variation. She makes a 4-inch variation and a 6-inch variation. So, you know, kind of for size reference here beside my head, the little 2-inch. But they're outdoor rated, so you can put them on your car and show your love for the Miami Hurricanes. If you're like me, I live in Tennessee, so I definitely have to show that I'm repping the U everywhere I go because I'm surrounded by Vols fans. So, you know, I got to show them who I'm repping the U. But I'll also be streaming, live streaming a live hangout for the Syracuse game this Saturday, so be sure to stop in for that. We have a ton of fun talking Miami Hurricanes football, and a few haters stop in, and a few Syracuse fans will probably stop in as well, but it's all just good, fun trash talk. But I appreciate all of the love you guys have been showing this channel. We're creeping up on 1,000 subs, so that's awesome. My Hurricanes family, I love all you guys, man. But for now, again, just leave your prediction in the comment section below. I'd love to know what you guys think the final score for the game will be. And again, we're all just one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, guys, it's always better when you get to rep the U. This has been another preview video from College Football Vids. Peace out, guys. Have a good week.